Hello and welcome. Today we're going to go through a stretch which is perfectly suitable for a beginner if you've never stretched before or you have injuries. You may need a cushion from the couch and a belt, like a dressing gown belt or a jean belt for your hamstrings in a little while. Okay, so we'll get started. Come down onto your floor or mat. And we're going to start by stretching the waist muscles. Take the arms out to the side of you, palms up to the ceiling, and then looking directly up to the ceiling. Relax your back and your pelvis into the mat. Lift the left leg up and place this over the top of the right knee. Start by rolling both of your knees towards the left-hand side, keeping your right shoulder down, and then bring your knees back. Take an inhale breath as you roll your knees over to the left-hand side. Exhale, roll through your waistband to bring your knees back. 6 more. So we want to be feeling a gentle mobility exercise. This does not want to feel as if it's stretching your hips and waist too much at this point. Maybe there's a little bit of a stretch going on. Our aim is to not get the knees down to the floor. It's just to keep the constant contact as you roll through your waistband and then make sure you roll back. Let's do one more on this left side. And we're changing sides. So we've got the right knee lifting up onto that left leg. We inhale as we roll our knees over towards that right hand side. Roll through the waistband to bring your knees back. Inhale as you roll over. And back. We're going to do 6 more. Now there's an option of taking the arms behind your head just as I have done here, but this will make the stretch a little bit more harder in terms of the shoulder area. So stretching the shoulders a little bit more here at the top of your chest. 4 more. So if you can't quite keep your elbow down on the floor on this left side, then you maybe need to go back to the easy arms. 2 more. Last one. And then releasing. Now, you might need a head cushion for this next one. I'll go through it. We need our belt. Take the right leg up into your belt and start off with your leg being straight. Wherever you can feel a stretch down the back of your leg, make sure the back of the knee is straight and that you're not shaking at this point. So once we've determined where we need our leg, we can then hold it in this position. So I'm just going to go up to the ceiling and get a nice little stretch up the back of my leg. So head cushions or cushions off the couch are needed if your neck is doing this when you're in this position, or you feel like you can't get your head down onto the floor. "30 more seconds. This stretch is done over a minute or 2 minutes for best results actually, but we're aiming for a minute today. Let's increase the stretch. So as we pull the leg towards us, we want to feel a little bit more of an increase up through the back of this leg here. It might be also in the lower part of your leg. Keep the foot flat, which means the toes are coming down towards your nose. And relax. Good job. Let's change legs. We have that left leg going into the band or belt. Again, let's just start where you feel comfortable. If your leg's here, great. stick with it. It will get a little bit easier. So we settle in for our first half of the stretch. Stretch should be about 75 to 85% of your maximum range. Within this range, you can tolerate it. You're not wishing it was over when it's just begun. We increase that stretch that little bit more. So we want to keep the bum on the floor if you're trying to increase your stretch, and relax the other leg as well. And just coming out of this stretch. Put your belt to one side, next to you, just in case you need it for this next stretch. We turn onto our side, like a plumb line position, and then bring your legs in front of you. Settle in with your arm, which is either bent or straight. Take a hold of the top foot. Drop the knees so that it's in line with your hip and not above. And start to pull the knee behind the hip. Now, if you can't reach your foot the way I have, don't worry, we have a modification. We just simply get that belt onto our foot and we hold on to it. And even if you haven't got your belt, you could actually get a hold of your sock or your trousers. Okay, so the further you pull this leg back, the more the stretch goes up the front of the thigh and into the hip. Remember to not let your knee come up so high. Keep it in line with your hip. Okay, so let's change sides. Quick change. Grab a hold and pull that foot towards your bum. Again, just have a little look. If your knee's up, you will see that it's up above your hip, so you want that knee down. And we want to be doing this for about 30 seconds. This is a beginner stretch. And if this is too much, I actually have easier versions of this. So remember, if you can't reach your foot, grab a hold of your sock or put the belt on. Knee just being pulled behind. Good job. We're going to go on our front, releasing off that foot. Come onto your stomach and take the hands off your mat or wider than your shoulders. Line your legs up so that they are parallel. And then from here, take a nice deep inhale breath into your stomach. And then relax. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to take an inhale breath in. And then lift up through the head. Keep the chest lifting up while you keep the bottom ribs on your mat. Shoulders drawing back. Feels like you're pulling the floor back. And then release. An inhale breath really feels how it starts to lift your chest up. And then back. Let's do 3 more of these. Draw your shoulders down, pull the floor back, reach your chest forward, relax your buttocks, and down. Now this sometimes can hurt people's lower back. So it may be that you start by just doing a little one like this and feel like you're reaching your upper sternum. And one more. And then releasing. Good job. So now we come on to our knees, and we're just going to go up into a stretch for the legs. Bring the feet about 2 fists apart, flat palms. Now sometimes people can't get their legs straight, so it could be that you're in a little bit of a bent position like this, in which case you're just trying to work towards pushing back your hips and getting those legs straight. Okay, so 30 seconds. Relax your shoulders. Keep pushing the hips back. And then coming down onto your knees. Okay, so next one, bring your right knee forward. Drop it behind the right wrist. And make sure that your right foot is up in front of your left leg. And then it wants to be across onto your left side. So we've got the right knee behind the right hand. And we've got the right foot diagonally across the mat. So we're lengthening that back left leg and coming down onto our elbows. We're now aiming for a stretch in that right hip at the side, just here. Nice deep breath and just relax into the stretch. Again, 30 seconds. Making sure that the hips are level, so you haven't collapsed over onto your left side or collapsed and sat too heavy in your right side. Okay, so we're coming out of this stretch and moving on to our left side. Left knee comes forward. Again, we want that left knee right up the mat behind your left wrist, and we want that right leg nice and long. As you can see there, the left foot is just diagonally across my mat, so it's out of the way. And then we come onto our elbows. Again, we want the hips, pelvis area to be level. And we're coming out of this one. Bring your hands back onto your mat. Just lift yourself back up onto your back knee, and then have both of your knees come back. Okay, so cat stretch for the spine. We're starting off with our hands directly underneath our shoulders. Our arms are straight and our head is in line with our spine, which means our eyes are just slightly ahead of our fingertips but looking down at the ground. Our back is supported by our lower abdominals, so we pull the stomach muscles in, but we shouldn't feel as if when we pull our stomach muscles in, we do this, which is already in your cat stretch. So just feel how your stomach lifts up a bit. Start by tucking the tailbone, rounding through the spine. Push down through your hands and pull your shoulder blades apart. And then coming out. And again, stomach pulls in, tailbone tucks, we round through the spine, shoulder blades widening, and then release through the tailbone and coming out. The breathing. Inhale, exhale, pelvic floor, stomach, tuck through the tailbone, round through your spine, and lifting up, and then releasing. 2 more. And exhale. So stomach in, tuck, push down through your knees, through your hands to lift your back up. And release. One more. And coming in, stomach in. And then releasing. Okay, let's just do a nice shoulder and upper back stretch. Keep your hips where they are, which is high up in the air. Don't push them back into your heels. And start to walk your hands forward while keeping your hips up. We lower down through the chest. Arms are straight. Almost a melting of the heart. And then coming back, sitting into your heels. Let's have the cushion again. I think this is a nice way to do this stretch. So we want to have the knees apart, and then your chest and stomach can drop down into it. See where you are with your arms. It could be that you need to support your head in this position. The aim here is to get some nice deep lateral breathing into the sides of your ribs and to kind of rest and restore your lower back. So we breathe into the backs and sides of the ribs. And at the same time, we're getting a stretch in those ankles and in those knees. One more breath. And then coming up. So, well done. That was a nice little gentle stretch. You shouldn't have any problems with that stretch whatsoever. I would do that stretch every day. It's a nice short stretch. You'll probably see good benefits in about, 3-4 weeks maybe, doing it every day. See you next time.